The Independent Electoral Commission will hold its first registration drive this weekend in preparation for next year's general elections. IEC CEO Sy Mamabolo has alluded to the fact that voter apathy amongst young people is due to their dissatisfaction with government, but he's appealed to them to register using the online platform. Now let's discuss this. We're now joined via Teams by IEC's Deputy Chief Electoral Officer, Mawethu Mosery. Sir, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Now, of course, you host your first registration drive this weekend ahead of next year's elections. Let's understand your level of readiness ahead of that voter registration.
Good afternoon to you and to your viewers. We are indeed progressing very well with our preparations for the weekend. Venues are confirmed. Personnel to assist us at the voting stations have been hired and have been trained, and the technology that we use to register voters has been upgraded, and we are satisfied that it will hold through the 2 days of registration at voting stations. And we've also begun a campaign that is reminding all citizens to be ready for Saturday. Go out there at the voting station on Saturday and Sunday. In the event that you are unable to be at the station, then use our online voter registration application to update your particulars or to check whether you are still registered correctly in the correct voting station where you cast your votes.
Now,
so we feel...
No, sorry, continue, sir.
And I wanted to just end by saying we are content with the level of preparation, and we're looking forward to receiving millions of South Africans at the voting station on Saturday and Sunday.
Now, there's a 14 million voter registration gap. As you said, of course, the IEC CEO Sy Mamabolo alluding to voter apathy among young people. What are the drivers of this, and what role do you have as the IEC, to continue to educate and draw awareness to the importance of voting, particularly as it relates to young people?
Well, we understand the gap based on the recent census figures that were released some 3 weeks ago, which indicated that there's plus minus about 40 million South African citizens who are eligible to vote. And we obviously, in our planning, target for all the 40 million to be registered. We currently on the voters roll have 26 million registered voters. So that's where the 14 million comes from. To a large extent, we have a very young population as a country. And we currently have on our voters roll on the band of young persons around 5 to 6 million on the voters roll, which means there is a big number of young people who are not on the voters roll that we are targeting. Secondly, there are those who have become of age and are now 18 and above and are eligible to vote, who have never had an opportunity to register, and we need to get to them. So our drive to get them is more reaching out to all the spaces where they are, to the platforms where they are, and also to send messages that encourage them to participate. And particularly our campaign tag, which is "This is your democracy, own it," talks to them. As much as some of them have not experienced what it is to live under a non-democratic state, it is our duty then to inform them, encourage them on what it means to live under a democracy and promote their participation on it.
Of course, we understand as we look at the gap of those that have this apathy, particularly being unhappy with government services, as we've heard from the CEO who's alluded to that. We're looking at youngsters between the ages of 18 to 29. One would imagine with the online registration system and platform that is available, you would have seen, a larger number. What drive then, particularly looking at your theme, your democracy, your future, can be used to encourage young people to vote and to have this theme speak to that gap, 18 to 29?
Indeed, we are focusing on that age band of our citizens, but we found out that there are three variables influencing their participation. There is indeed the grouping that is disillusioned and not sure whether they should participate or not. And they are basically saying, we're not sure whether there's value in voting and participating. The second key variable are those who are saying, but when we are not informed, we do not know, and we are unsure, and therefore we need to reach out to them. But there are those who are saying, we've been voting, but we've not seen the benefit of being active participants in electoral democracy. So our message is to them, one, this is the only country where you will have to exercise this right to vote. So you've got to continue exercising that right to vote. Two, this opportunity to vote comes once in 5 years, and go out there, use it, and use it to make a difference within your community and within your society and for the country. And thirdly, we are saying, it is not an option to withdraw, because that will weaken our democracy and possibly end up with an environment of an undemocratic state if we cease to participate as citizens. So our messages are geared towards that. And one of the key things was then to make registration as easy and as accessible as possible, hence the provision of the online. But the voting station also provides a particular form of comfort and access to various communities. It becomes an equalizing provision for those who may claim not to have access to smart devices or to data to connect or free wireless to connect. And at the voting station, we will provide all the registration mechanics, and it should be easy for every South African citizen with an intention to participate in this election to come out and participate. Last point on this is that at this point, you may be disillusioned and other, but as campaigns increase by various political parties, you will develop an interest to participate and want to try that particular political party to be in office. And you would not have that opportunity if you've not registered to vote.
All right, so thank you so much for your time this afternoon and unpacking all of that. That's the IEC's Deputy Chief Electoral Officer, Mr. Mawethu Mosery, there for us.